Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So welcome everyone to the group chat brought to you by Oma. I'm your host Darrell, and I'm joined by your co-host Xin Wei. Xin Wei, what's up?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So this week we're gonna touch on something important, which is your A-level subject combination. So we recently were doing a lot about the JC and A-level because we know a huge group of you, our Sec 4 listeners, you're moving on to JC. Of course, for the poly crowd, we can't comment as much because we went JC. So we're going to talk more about the JC side of things. So subject combination is really important. Subject combination is similar to what you experience at O-level. Those are the subjects you're taking to sit in the exam. And I think it's important to know some important differences between the subjects and what to expect. So we hope to bring that information to you so that when you select your subject combination, you can make a more informed choice. So maybe Xin Wei, I'll start with you. Can you share your own subject combination and how you derived at that decision?
Okay. Mine is BCME, so biology, chemistry, math, and econs, right? So you need to take 4H2 or 3H2, 1H1. So that was my 4H2s. So why did I pick this combination is because, math you can't really pick because everyone needs to take math. You can't choose that one. And I am, so the first choice you have to make, is it arts or is it science, right? That's the first decision you have to make first. So for me, it was clear that it was science because I'm always a science person. So I chose science. And then between bio and physics, I definitely like bio a lot more, right? I'm a bio tutor. And I don't really I'm not very good at physics. So it's so I think it was more obvious like the bio, chem, and math. And then the last one is a contrasting subject. It's like a humanities subject. So BCM, right? I could have taken, for the contrasting subject, I could have taken geography, econs, literature, history. So any of these humanities subjects. So out of all those things, I think I picked, it was between geography and econs. Geography, I did very well in O-level, but I didn't take that in, I did very well in O-level, but I have never tried econs before. So I was like, okay, new subject. Econs is a very new subject because not a lot of secondary school offer. So I was like, okay, I want to learn more about econs. So I picked econs.
For myself, I also went into the science stream, which means I took 3 sciences and 1 contrasting humanities. So mine was physics, chem, math, and geography. So I took triple science at O-level. So I mean, I could have went the bio route, I could have went the other way. But one of the main reasons why I decided not to take bio and I took physics instead was I got A1 for both bio and physics. So I like both. But what I heard from my seniors was that JC bio is really quite tough and there's quite a bit of content. I think Xin Wei can attest to that. But for physics, right, because I was more inclined to math and math helps with physics. So when I was deciding whether to take physics or chem, I thought physics would be easier, even though I really enjoyed secondary school bio. So that was on my part. But one extra reason that propelled me not to take bio was because my contrasting humanities was geography. And geography is very content intensive. So for those of you who took geography in secondary school, you will know what I mean. And if you took bio, you also know what I mean, right? There's quite a number of things that we might have to spend some time to memorize. So I didn't want that to happen, which is why when I went for geog, which is a lot more content, I decided to go with something more conceptual in physics. So that's how I derived at my PCMG combination, which I wouldn't say the most common one is econs, right? PCME.
Yeah.
Right.
E is more common.
Correct. But I took pure geography in secondary school and I did well. And I was like, why not just continue down? It was still interesting to me, geog. So I no really much regrets taking it. I think in terms of subject combination, we'll share more later, but I think it's important to take what you like, right? So for me, I like geog, more the human geog than the physical geog, but overall, I still enjoyed it. So is there anything I regret about my combination? I wish I learned econs as well, because I think econs is quite fun. I'm not too sure about JC econs because I haven't took it before, but in terms of learning about how the economy function and stuff, I thought that is something that I might be interested in lah, but no regrets taking job for me. Xin Wei, any regrets taking your combi?
No, I enjoyed all my combi. I think the only thing that I didn't enjoy was math, but I have nothing to choose. I can't choose, right? Everyone has to take math. Even if you are going to arts path, you also have to take math. So that was nothing that I can choose about. But both bio, chem, and econs were really fun. And I enjoyed them. And I think I managed to do well for them also, like without much struggle. So I don't hate any of the subject combi that I took. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, we both went down the science stream, but for our listeners who are planning to go into the art stream, we wanted to share some common subject combination as well. For science, I think it's pretty clear cut. PCME, which means physics, chem, math, econs, is the most common out of everyone. There's quite a sizable that do BCME as well. So replacing the physics with bio. Of course, off the side, there might be some students like myself, which decided to, instead of econs, I'll take geog or history. That there are one or two classes that are like that, but not the majority, I would say. Now, for the art stream, you will have to take math as your contrasting. So math is considered a science subject, all right? So that is confirmed. You will have to take math. So you're left to decide between your last three. And almost everybody will be taking literature and econs. And the last one you have to decide is whether you want to take history or geography. Technically, you can take geog with history, but you'll just die, right? So nobody will do that, right? Because this is a bit more skill-based. Econs is something that you have to take if you are a art stream student. So the main decision is whether you prefer chem or geog or history. Yeah, so the combi is called HELM or GELM.
Yeah, HELM and GELM.
HELM and GELM. Yeah. So if you are considering the two, you should make a distinction on whether you like history more or geography more. In terms of each subject, right, I wanted to quickly talk about the pros and cons real quick, right? So the subjects that I took that Xin Wei did is mainly physics and geography. For physics, it's rather similar with your O-level physics, of course, with more deeper concepts that you have to understand, and there are a couple of new topics as well. So those are some things you have to look out for, but overall physics and chem is largely the same. For geography, it's also similar. The themes that you study there's a strong overlap. So whatever knowledge you learn at O-level will translate to A-level. So I think that's something important when you're considering. Math, we won't comment so much because you have to take math regardless. But math, there's a much bigger share of the pie in terms of statistics. So in terms of whatever you learn in vectors and there's a lot of new stuff but math is a necessary evil Okay. Xin Wei, what about for bio and econs? How did it feel like for you?
So like what Darrell said, right? Secondary school bio and JC bio is really different. It's very, very different. So in secondary school bio, we learn about like all our organ system, right? You learn about how your like different system works. But in JC bio, they don't care about those. Like there was hardly anything like that. It's more molecular. It goes into like cellular level. So it will be more abstract, a lot more abstract. So because of that, it may not be as, I guess, as easy to understand. Like and the memorizing effort would definitely go up as well. Yeah. So I think that's why bio is scary for a lot of people, especially JC bio. And I think in some other podcasts that we did before, I think we did mention how O-level bio, if it's like level 1, and then the JC bio is like times like 25 or times 50 or 30. Yeah, it is. The level is just, the amount of information is just very different. Yeah, even the content. So, but I think it's still nice, like especially if you're interested, like going into O-level bio is like knowing more, knowing deeper level. So I think that is good. Then as for econs is really fun. I enjoy econs a lot. A lot of people struggle with econs at first because it's a very new subject. Like, every other subject you have learned before in O-level, but not econs, right? So it's very new. The way that you do is that you need to do some answering. Like they give you a passage and then you answer. It's basically like your humans, like your history, SS. Like it gives you some information and then you have to SBQ it. And then there's some essay question as well. So the exam format is very similar to SS in O-level. But the concept will be very new. But I think it's quite interesting as well. Like, I think it is very fun. I enjoyed econs a lot.
Yeah, I think if you are a little bit more like you like to study a bit of like finances, how the economy work, econs will give you a much better idea of things that's happening to the economy, which I think is still quite relevant as you're growing up to know how the world works, right? Like how trading works, supply demand, how that drives prices and stuff. So these are all relevant stuff to real life. Of course, to speak more on the side of compulsory subjects, for math, if there's a difference. So we don't want to go into that, but in JC, you can take H2 and H1, right? H2 is basically like pure, right? Pure science, right? H1 is like combined. If you want to put it very bluntly, it's like reduced down version.
Yeah.
So you need to explore that as well. But that you can leave it until you are in JC already. As you're doing the subject, then you figure out whether you want to drop one of your weaker subjects to H1. That is usually a more strategic move if you can't cope. But if you can cope, usually you will take 4 H2s going into A level. Now, I think what else to look out for is you need to know GP and English. It's slightly the same, yet it's different. I think GP, it requires essay writing more in the discursive and argumentative sort of realm. So you need a lot more general knowledge, especially if you're very into narrative kind, you like to write stories. GP doesn't really have that anymore. So you need to start pivoting and understanding how to write a good piece of essay. Another subject that you have to take is PW, project work. Project work, based on many accounts, is not the most fun subject to take. The good news is that it will be over in the first year. For that, I think you have to work very closely. And I think more importantly, you need to find a way to work with your team. Okay, that's most important. So project work, maybe you'll leave that as a discussion for another day. Now, I wanted to touch on briefly about this concept of what we call your hybrid combinations. So in certain schools, they do offer that. From what I've seen from students' feedback, ACJC does it very well. They offer this flexible subject combination, which means instead of 3 science and 1 contrasting, or 3 humanities and 1 science, you're allowed to take a 2-2 combination, right? So if you have very big interest in, say, you like geography a lot, and then you like econs, and you want to take math and only chemistry, right? That is a possibility. So you are able to have a more flexible subject combination. I think that's perfectly fine because I think we do encourage you to take what you like. But one thing you have to look out for is whether the school caters to that. Because if you insist on taking a subject combination that is not properly offered by the school, they might still allow you to do so, but your timetable will be like shit, which means you're joining other classes for the subject that you are taking, but the rest of your class isn't. And then you are forced to have very weird breaks or very, very long days because your subjects, your classes extend all the way into 4, 5 p.m. So if you're taking hybrid, you need to have a trade-off. You need to know that you might not be with your class all the time. Your timetable might be like shit, unless your school caters for it. But overall, if it's really what you want to go for, I think you can go for it. Xin Wei, any thoughts on hybrid combinations?
I have a few classes on hybrid, like enough people. So they have actually like I think 3 classes that take like CHEM or CGEM. Yeah. So I think like I agree with what Darrell said. Even when RI has like 2 or 3 classes with this, like all of them take the same hybrid combi, right? I think they have the worst timetable as compared to other classes. Yeah. I think the convention is that the more common your subject combination is, the better your timetable will be.
I think you look at it from a planning POV, right? When they plan the timetable, they will try to cater to the majority, right?
Yeah.
So you always get the best time slots. Your lectures are always at this time, very fixed. You get your canteen break at this time. Then they will end the class as early as possible. So that applies mainly for PCME students, I feel like that, because that is like a good 30-40% of the cohort, I think, will be taking that.
The PCME and the BCME will get the best timetable because it has the most classes, and then they will have to put all those people into one lecture hall. So they will just let them like start early, end early, and then not much like spaced out breaks. Basically can end your day early. I think that is quite important sometimes.
Yeah, because your day you'll be busy with your CCA stuff. You might be busy with catching up on your homework and stuff. But of course, if there's a subject that you are dying to take, I think go for it so that you don't have any regrets. Okay, down to my favorite portion of the week, the last segment of our podcast, the dilemma of the week. Okay, Xin Wei, Do you think it's important to take what subjects we like, or should we take subjects that we think is easy to score?
I don't think there's anything that's super easy to score in JC. So I'm going to say take what you like. Because if you like that subject, at some point it will become easy.
Completely agree. I feel that no matter what subject you take, there are portions that you will like and portions that you don't. But if you have an interest in it, it makes it a lot easier to study. Like you won't dread studying it, right?
Yeah.
You might say that, oh, my senior think that this subject very easy, but you have completely no interest in it. It's gonna like be a bore. It's gonna stress you out to study it. You won't want to open your book or your notes to study. So I think it's important for you to understand yourself, know what you actually like, and when you're studying, go for those subjects. Of course, you might want to keep in mind whether whether it affects other factors like your subject combination, right? You cannot just randomly take I love history, I love geog, then you take both. Okay, that might kill you, right? Because of the content. But what we are encouraging is, as you're making your choices, lean towards those subjects that you have an interest in. And I think if you look back on your O-level journey, you would find that the subjects that you like, you tend to do better in them as well. So I think the easier subject is the subject that you like. So it's the same thing. So go for what you like. I think that's most important.
Yeah, I think, agree.
Yeah. And another thing is what you're good at is usually what you like as well. So I think it's just correlated. I don't think
it's correlated. I think so. I think it's really correlated because it's like if you really like that subject, you end up spending more time with that subject, and you're just happier when you're studying. It goes in easier. You do well, and then you like it more, right? When you do well in the subject, how do you like not like a subject that you do well in? So it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle. So be smart, right? Choose what you like. I think with that, today's discussion, I think has been pretty fruitful. So I hope that now you guys have a better idea of your A-level subject combination. Of course, Overmark had an event. I don't know whether this podcast will be released before or after. I think it will be after the event, but you can always go back to the event to take a look at how our webinar broke down the different proposed subject combinations that you can take. But most importantly, you need to go to the school website to check whether that subject combination you want is even available. So have a few in mind, and when you actually have when school starts, you go down and you're supposed to decide your subject combination, you already know what you want, and what is left is for you to fill in the certain blanks about certain questions that you have. Okay. If not, any last shout out from you, Xin Wei?
Nope. Have fun at JC. Have fun at orientation.
Good luck, have fun, enjoy your orientation first, everyone. And with that, we come to the end of today's podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like so that more people can discover our video. On Spotify, please follow us, and we look forward to speaking to you again. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you.
It sound right, boy.